The best way to get better at programming is to practice. And in this example, we're going to use multiple if-else blocks as one large block. That way, we can be as efficient as we can with our code. Before we start, remember you can always download this file from a link in the description below. We'll pause for a couple seconds so that you can download this file. You can choose either attempt it on your own or follow along with us. All right, so let's get started. We already have our static void main inside of a class. We already have a job code, which is an integer, and is right now equal to 2. Now, in a lot of businesses, you might have a lot of different job codes, and so we want to know how to handle them. So I could write something like if job code equals 1, and then perform the task if it equals 1. I could come down and write if job code equals 2, and then perform that task as well. The problem is it would have to do every if statement. What happens when we find it? We want it to skip the rest. So we're going to simplify this just a little bit and say else and then if. You notice I have to have a space. If I don't have a space, it's going to generate an error. So it's else if, and now we have job code equal to 2. I can come down here and say else if job code equals 3, etc. I can keep on doing this for as many as I want to handle. What's nice about this is as soon as we find the job code we're looking for, we exit out of this entire block. This makes running our code a little bit more efficient. It's also a lot cleaner compared to having an else block and then having an if block inside of it with an else block and an if block inside of it, etc., etc. In this example, we're using where we're checking for equality. Of course, we don't have to check for equality. We can have greater than and less than symbols. Anything inside of our condition that we normally would have, we can have here. The extra advantage from this is we can always have one more else block. And this is kind of a catch-all. So if we didn't find the result from before, we have this else block, it can catch everything that we need. How many of these else if blocks can we have? Well, we could literally have hundreds if we needed them. We don't have to, but we could. And this is just an example of a couple of them. One place I used to work, we had over 200 job codes. All those else ifs would get a little bit long to write. For some simple examples though, this is a great way to do it. So keep this in mind if you're working with a couple of condition options that you need to use. Hopefully you found this example helpful. If so, please give the video a like and consider watching the rest of the videos in this series.